Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdson of World Alternative Media here, and recent news from yesterday regarding CIA Director Mike Pompeo, Trump's new pick, startled Assange, to say the least, after the CIA Director claimed that he was a fraud, that he was a state actor for Russia and other countries, and that he doesn't care about civil liberties while the CIA does, which is absolutely absurd. And this article comes out of Zero Hedge. Assange responds to CIA director that produced Al-Qaeda, ISIS, Iraq, Iran, and Pinochet. As Julian Assange responded, he said, called a non-state intelligence service today by the state non-intelligence agency, which produced Al-Qaeda, ISIS, Iraq, Iran, and Pinochet. And he, of course, trolled a lot of these talking points after he said a couple nights ago that in the last night in office, President Dwight Eisenhower delivered a powerful farewell speech to the nation, words so important that he'd spent a year and a half preparing them. Ike famously warned the nation to guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist, he said. WikiLeaks went on to say, our most recent disclosures describe the CIA's multi-billion-dollar cyber warfare program in which the agency created dangerous cyber weapons, targeted private companies, consumer products, and then lost control of its cyber arsenal. Our sources said they hope to initiate a principled public debate about the security creation, use of proliferation, and democratic control of cyber weapons. Now, I just want to kind of go into the inherently leftist viewpoint of the Trump administration, as people are calling me a liberal and a leftist for simply calling out big government ideas. The CIA is the deep state. Trump is now in support of the CIA after going after them so much during the election, alongside the fact that he supports NATO to an insane extent now, praising NATO, praising the Federal Reserve, praising Janet Yellen, praising China, and of course launching all these attacks on countries in the Middle East, further destabilizing them, which is a big government idea. The global government is a perfect example of big government at its largest, something that conservatives are supposed to be against. And these talking points are inherently leftist, and I wanted to kind of go into that these people have this view that the government should be big enough to carry out attacks on individual liberties and imprison those who expose it. The fact that Assange and Snowden are the biggest talking points of the CIA director in his first big speech say a lot about Trump's pick. And isn't it interesting, claiming he works for Russia, which is insane. It's hypocrisy, as we see not just Democrats delusionally claiming anyone who disagrees with them or believes in freedom works for Russia, but now the Republicans as well. Now, Trump praised WikiLeaks during the election, saying, I love WikiLeaks. But Assange dares to be consistent, like he did under Obama, Bush, etc. Now the Trump administration wants him locked up. When will you people see the vast hypocrisy, the vast flip-flopping, the fact that Trump is now becoming a globalist, saying that he speaks for the world? What about not being the policeman of the world? Well, that's out the window. It's our duty to call out state coercion and intrusion. If we're going to call ourselves free individuals, I think that this is also inherent to our beliefs. But apparently the cult of Trump has taken a big turn on this. Now, let me make it clear that during the election, I called out the media constantly for making up false BS about Trump, propagating it, making up fake stories in the news. And isn't this the perfect deception? Because now he's actually doing a bunch of horrible things, and the media is supporting him. John McCain supporting him. Hillary Clinton supporting him. Chuck Schumer is supporting him. Lindsey Graham is supporting him. What more do you need to know, people? All these people claiming they're against globalism while supporting the military-industrial complex, CIA, and all other forms of the globalist apparatus should be ashamed of themselves. They aren't consistent. They're BSing the public. They are BSing their supporters, and their supporters, a lot of them are pulling away, obviously, but a lot are just clinging on, saying, you dare speak out against our president? Small government conservatives and so-called libertarians that are still supporting Trump show how deeply leftist they truly are. While calling me a libtard for simply being consistent and calling out attacks on individual liberties. The same nonsense I was calling out under Obama and Bush. Think about the fact that we see these cultish people who clearly don't have any solid political viewpoints, but are just so enamored and glassy-eyed with the religion of statism. I dare call out their precious leftist commander-in-chief. And I'm the libtard. I'm a voluntarist libertarian. I don't support state coercion, and everyone calling me out is in support of bigger government. Now that's hypocrisy. You know, it's truly pathetic to watch this go on over and over and over again. Every election, deception, 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 and people eat it all up. And it goes in a circle. I was called a fascist under Obama, of course, by leftists, and now I'm being called a leftist under Trump by, interestingly enough, leftists. The anti-war, anti-government left disappeared for 8 years. Now the small government conservatives and so-called libertarians are disappearing under Trump, and they will meet the same fate. We're watching the Hegelian dialectic of problem, reaction, solution repeat, played out over and over again. When are people going to learn? So call me a leftist as much as you want, but you're supporting policies that the socialist government of Venezuela supports. Think about that for a second. Does it not seem to enter your mind that a couple weeks ago, Trump was being accused of working for Russia, and now everyone, all these same people are claiming that anyone that disagrees with him is working for Russia? How does that not get your attention? How does that not make you kind of consider the fact that things have changed, that things have flip-flopped, that these people are hypocrites, and you are a hypocrite if you truly go from calling out how stupid it was to claim anyone that disagreed with the establishment was Russian to now saying that anyone that disagrees with the establishment must work for Russia. Julian Assange is a hero. He has called out BS under Bush, Obama, and now Trump. He is just simply being consistent, and I'm simply being consistent. Trust me, Julian Assange and I have very different views. He actually is far more left-leaning than I am. I am as far away from that as you could possibly get. I am a voluntarist, as I said. I don't believe in state coercion, and I just find that it's insane that so many people that say they're against globalism are now supporting the military-industrial complex, are now supporting these lies, these false flags, this absolute insanity. These same people that were calling out Hillary Clinton for the same things months ago are now supporting Trump for pushing that same talking point. You know, it's going to happen the same way it happened to the left. These conservatives, these so-called conservatives that are really more just neoliberals and neocons, are going to find in 4 to 8 years that it's just going to go back to the left, and it's going to repeat over and over and over again unless we can get our information out, unless we can continue to inform people enough so that they stop making the same mistakes over and over again and stop being deceived. I don't know how many times I have to go over this. I was saying this during the Bush administration. I was saying it under the Obama administration, and I'm saying it again today. When are we going to learn? How are we going to stop repeating history over and over and over again and looking to the same solutions? Government is not the solution to government. We as individuals are the solution to government. We the individuals, the market, the free market, the demand of free individuals is the solution to the government. But here we are, continuing the same practices over and over again. And we wonder why we're living in such a messed up world. We're wondering why we keep seeing corrupt politicians take advantage of individuals as a collective, throwing them into this collective and brutally beating them. Being beaten once a day is not better necessarily than getting beaten twice a day. It's better that we just don't get beaten at all. And maybe if we start thinking in that line of thought, we might be able to get out of this paradigm. But until then, we're doomed to repeat history, and we're on the brink of possibly a world war right now. And I just find it really sad that people still keep coming back to this viewpoint that more statism will solve the problems of statism, and that is going to be the demise of us as free individuals. I think that people have to start standing up for their rights as a free individual instead of what they claim the government gives us, because the government doesn't give us rights. We have inherent rights that we're born with, and the government can take them away, but they can't give them to us. That's an oxymoron, and it's at its very source. So it's time to start thinking a bit more realistically. Start thinking about freedom. Stop just saying the word freedom as if you know what it means when you're supporting the lack thereof, because it's pathetic and it's going to go on forever and we'll never get out of this mess. So Thanks for watching, everyone. You can check the links below. GoFundMe, Patreon. We can't do it without you. Any donation is very much appreciated, especially in these times when we're being censored and demonetized so incredibly by YouTube. And of course, check our address for Bitcoin in the description and the comments, as well as on the screen for you to scan if you please. And don't forget to check our link for the Red Pill Expo in the description and the comments as well, where you could see people like J. Edward Griffin, Robert Kiyosaki, Ty Bollinger, James Corbett, Lord Monckton, and so many other great people speak in Bozeman, Montana in June. You could buy tickets below, but until next time, this is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.